Mr. Birdie and members of the board, we have two items for board discussion this evening. Our first item, additional special education units for the 1920 school year. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I just have a short presentation that is actually for Kathy Gilbert, our Director of Special Services. We're in need of 2 new units for next year. Our special education population continues to grow through new identifications and through incoming students. And we're in need of 2 new units. At East, we need a new social communication unit. And this would be a unit that would educate and support students who are on the autism spectrum. And at Central, we need a new unit for multiple disabilities. And it educates and supports students who have multiple disabilities. The good news is that both of these units can be funded with federal funds, and so it will not come out of the general fund money. And also these units, when you realize the size, the social communications unit only has 6 students in it. So you don't have to get very many new students to need a new unit.
Yeah.
And the multiple disabilities unit houses 8 students. So that's the need right now, and we wanted to bring that to your attention.
Any questions for Mr. Martin?
No?
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Our next item for board discussion, policy JEB. I'll turn it over to Ms. Swildo.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. In your packet tonight, you have a slightly updated version of the entrance age policy than what I had sent out in email form earlier this week. So I'd just like to go over those changes very briefly here. The first change we have to the policy is just adjusting the date. When we originally brought this policy to you back in 2016, we were changing the actual entrance age. If you remember, we moved it from, maybe August 1st. We moved it from September 1st to August 1st, yeah. We moved it the other direction. So we had to set like a time frame so folks knew when that was changing. It was in the future. So there's no longer a need for that. So we removed that piece of it. And then the only thing that has been added is we just wanted to make some clarification between the regulation that goes with this and the policy. So we just wanted to be sure terms were clear. And in the regulation, we talk about an early entrance team. So when a child applies to enter kindergarten or first grade earlier than our policy allows for, an early entrance team is convened and they work through a process to decide whether the child is ready for kindergarten or first grade earlier than the age requirement. So we just wanted to be sure the language in the policy and the regulation were clear. So thank you for considering this tonight and voting upon it later. Our early entrance process starts here in March.
Great. Any questions for Mrs. Wildo?
Nope.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.